Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and what Donald Trump at this rally, what he does is signal a huge cultural shift. This is way more important than you think. But before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors over at Colonial Metals Group, who quite literally have the cure to Biden inflation and Harris economics. But more on that later. Now, let's dive in to the video.
Great family. And two amazing Puerto Rican musical legends. They're legends, Justin Quiles and Anuel. Do you know who they are? Do you know who the hell they are? Come up here, just fast, fellas, come on. Because I don't know if these people know who the hell you are. But it's good for the Puerto Rican vote. Every Puerto Rican is going to vote for Trump right now. We'll take. Hi, fellas.
Thank you, Mr. President, for having us here. For me, it's a real blessing to be here. I'm from Puerto Rico. We a big part of United States. We really depend on the United States. Since Trump hasn't been around, Puerto Rico's, it's not a secret. We've been going through a lot as a country. And Biden always promise. A lot of politicians always promise through the years, but all of us know, the world knows, everybody's experienced it. The best president the world has seen, this country has ever seen. His name is President Trump. Thank you for having me here. To all my Puerto Ricans, let's stay united. Let's vote for Trump. I personally spoke with him. He wants to help Puerto Rico grow and succeed as a country. So let's stand out tall and united. And we all want to remember that. He wants to keep helping Latinos in the U.S. Let's do things the right way, and let's keep growing. Let's keep growing as a family, and let's make America great again. God bless y'all.
I'll also say a few words here. Mr. President, I'm beyond honored being here with you today. Mr. President, above all, I like you because I always say this, you're not a puppet. I love that about you. Yeah, I really do. I back you because I feel you're the most honest president we ever had. That's true. Saying things how they are, not what you think people want to hear. And that's very important. A lot of Latinos, we stand strong next to President Trump. A lot of Latinos, we love you as well. Thank you for sharing with us back there that how important building back Puerto Rico is. And not only building up Puerto Rico, but let's make America great again. Let's go.
Wow, that's great. That's really nice. Great honor, fellas. Very talented guys, too.
Y'all, I get it. Obviously, these guys are rappers, okay? The crowd's not going to respond to that because once again, let's be honest, the crowd is going to be mostly white from rural Pennsylvania. This was filmed at the Jonestown rally in Pennsylvania. And so, they're not going to be familiar with these guys. I'm sure not. But this is unusually significant. Not because, he's broadening his horizons and he's bringing in rappers. He's been doing that for a while. Black rappers love Trump, and now apparently Latino rappers love him as well. See, politics is downstream of culture, right? That means that music is a huge part of culture, and that's going to flow downwards. Eventually, you're going to see the effects of this. We have currently seen this, and you know what? Let me start off with this idea. Back when I was growing up, I listened to pretty much two things: country music and Christian music. Granted, one of those things is way better than the other. And I got lucky. As a kid, actually as a teenager, country music had slowly been on the rise. You had, in the 90s, you had your Alan Jacksons, Garth Brooks at the top of his game, Tim McGraw. Then you had Kenny Chesney show up on the scene, and all of a sudden, around the early 2000s, country music explodes in popularity because that was the height of white Anglo-Saxon Protestant power in this country. Remember, at about the same time, the most prominent movies of the 2000s were Lord of the Rings and Passion of the Christ. One of which is steeped in a lot of Christian culture, and the other is quite literally about Jesus. Hey y'all, in case you haven't noticed, this has gone to this. It is absolutely insane. What the feds have done, constantly printing money, making sure that your dollar becomes less and less valuable, has hurt the economy and has probably hurt you in ways that you can't even imagine yet. That's why we partner with Colonial Metals Group. CEO Paul Stone and his associates understand the ins and outs of protecting your hard-earned dollars backed by gold, silver, and other precious metals. And they even have a limited time offer for first-time buyers. Free gold and silver IRA accounts. Insured storage for 5 years. Up to $7,500 in free silver. And a personal safe to keep all the good stuff. So go check them out, link in the description below, or call this phone number to talk to one of the many lauded associates at Colonial Metals Group to protect your hard-earned dollars today. Then something started changing in the late 2000s, and by about 2014, it was no longer the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants that were in power, it was the rich white liberals. However, there was an undercurrent of music. Kids were starting to really get into rap. And rap, just like rock and roll, is based on rebellion in a way. It's based on, I guess, this idea of we're facing insurmountable odds and we're overcoming it. Now, that's probably a terrible way to talk about their music because, again, I've never heard what they've had to say. So why is it that all these rappers are starting to come around and start supporting Trump? Well, the answer is simple. Because he's a gutsy, masculine figure, and that's what sells in rap culture. It's really that simple. But there's something more important going on here. Why specifically Puerto Rico? Because wasn't there this great rift between Puerto Rico and Donald Trump? Wasn't there some mayor that took him on after the hurricane saying, you need to help us, what you're doing is wrong and you're not helping us in the way we need? And Trump shot back and said, every time we do, we lose thousands of dollars and goods that are supposed to go to the community and they get swallowed up by the mob. Puerto Rico has a huge mob problem. And I can actually attest to this secondhand. My father works for AT&T, and he used to do emergency resource management pretty much after the calamity that was Hurricane Maria that almost wiped Puerto Rico off the map. In the wake of that terrible hurricane, AT&T struggled to restore power because mafia bosses were getting in the way. They were trying to extort as much money out of the system as possible. And the mayor was silent on this issue because the mayor is paid off by those groups. A lot of those politicians were beholden to those mafia groups. And Donald Trump said, you've got to clean up your act. All of a sudden, Puerto Ricans went, wait a minute. People are paying attention to us and our problems? Democrats certainly haven't done that. Yeah, they're happy when they walk down to Williamsburg in New York City and you see someone having a Puerto Rican flag. Oh yeah, you'll get a nice rowdy cheer. But that's all you'll get. You won't get someone who actually cares about the issues down there. And one of the biggest ones is political corruption. Donald Trump's entire MO, his campaign, is about reform. Because we've got a bloated government that needs to be shrunk. We've got bureaucrats running amok. And that's why I'm so glad the Supreme Court struck down one of these ridiculous rules recently that organizations in the government, like the ATF, can't manufacture law. They can manufacture certain policies here and there on how to carry out the law, but they can't make new things into law. I believe that I cannot remember the name of this. Chevron, I believe was the legal decision that finally got overturned because the Supreme Court finally has people inside of it going, okay, this is the Constitution. What you're doing, government, is not inside the Constitution. You gotta stop. It's really that simple when it comes to the legal issues. That's sort of that thesis going on. So we have that in the Supreme Court. We have Donald Trump that wants to take a wrecking ball to the government and upset the status quo. And of course that means you're going to get rappers like this from Puerto Rico who are realizing, wait a minute, our people have constantly gotten a raw deal and we keep electing Democrats. Black rappers have figured out that exact same message. And the two biggest minority blocs in the Democrat Party are slowly siphoning away, and they're realizing that maybe the Republicans are offering a better deal. And that's why they're coalescing around Trump, and I don't think they'd coalesce around any other candidate because there's no one quite like him. I think that this is showing a cultural shift, and not to mention a political shift. That the Republican coalition is about to look very, very different than it did 10 years ago. But that's my political crystal ball. Hope you enjoyed that opinion, that theory, because I can only base it on vibes in this video. Remember, do research yourself. Do not listen to me for full unsolicited advice. I'm a 31-year-old dude who's bounced around politics for his whole life. I don't know as much as I like to project, but I like to say things that make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, point it out in the comments below. I'd love to hear it, because I love good dialogue. But anyways, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.